Yeah, just go ahead, Garrett.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it. You're good.
Welcome, everybody, to the Try Hard Tavern Podcast. We have a spicy debate today, and let me tell you what it is. It's a little generation debate. Upon which game, you ask? None other than maybe the game that we're all pretty crazy about. Pokemon. Now, I am joined here by none other than our sexy other hosts. We have Noah.
Hey, how's it going?
We have Josh, JK.
What's up?
We have DJ Silver Thick Daddy Hammer.
Up, sluts.
And none other than the dankiest, stankiest, lanky Paul.
And we do be keeping it pretty dank and stuff.
Hey. And I'm Sauce. Let's go.
Hey.
Hot in front of that sauce.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tavern Talks, podcast for the Try Hard Tavern Discord. Thanks for that intro, Garrett. It was it lived up to expectations for sure. Yeah, we have a fun little topic. We're gonna do a little bit different of a schedule today. We're cutting out trivia for today because I love trivia. I'm sorry.
There's no way we can get it all in.
For all intensive purposes, based off the time that this is probably going to take us to talk about, I figured more topic time is better. So
if I start, it'll take 2 minutes.
Boys
will agree with
me.
Plus, Canadians are tired of cleaning up shop with trivia, so we'll give a week.
Oh yeah, whatever. Okay. Although I think at some point we might have to do just like a nice little like game show podcast where it's a bunch of trivia and different
game
things.
Corner.
Can we all like make questions for each other?
We could. We'll figure out some sort of format
so
or something that we can do in the future, and we'll probably find something to talk about that's not Pokemon eventually. That's only like 5 out of the 6 episodes that we've done now.
Zelda's coming out.
We gotta do Zelda next week.
Yes, sir.
We can talk about Sonic Frontiers.
Maybe on a different podcast. Okay, well, I'm not gonna transition. I'm just gonna hop right into some Discord server news, mainly because I feel like we don't really have any.
Blood Bowl. Let's hear about it.
Oh yeah, Garrett, go ahead.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Okay, next, Tavern Night's coming up. What do we have? Jackbox is not in the lead. Fortnite is. No, it's not. Fall Guys is. My goodness.
Oh, I got
Get ready for some Fall Guys.
Ooh,
Unless the votes change.
fun stuff for sure. Little Tavern Night action this Thursday. Apart from Tavern Night, Season 8 of APDL is getting close to the end of our regular season. We're in our last week. And then we'll transition into our top 8 bracket. And after that, we will start doing signups and stuff for Season 9. So that'll be a lot of fun. Season 9, you hit here first. It's going to be some Gen 9 OU. We're going back to a draft format, but it's going to be based off a point system and not a tier system. So it'll be fun. Stay tuned for more information on that. Does anybody else have anything server related that they feel they need to bring up?
D&D maybe, Josh?
And moving on.
Oh, is there DJ? You want to say something maybe about potential movie nights? Just gathering some headway here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you guys want. Like, I'm down to make movie night watches and all that, but people have to show up. We need people that want to be there to watch.
Yeah, you can't watch it for the clout. You gotta have heart.
Sure. Sounds good. So I guess just we'll probably get like a little watch party roll made. I know you guys mentioned doing something like that at some point, but we'll get that made, and then just stay tuned for maybe some little movie nights. We can hang out, watch some movies and stuff, or some other things if you want to. But
Napoleon Dynamite, let's go.
whatever you feel, whatever you want. But with that, I guess we'll kick it to a short transition, and then we'll just hop right on in to our topic. All right, boys, it's time to fight. Let's see. Okay, so today's topic is we're calling it the Great Generation Debate. Essentially, what we're going to go through is we're going to go through every generation of Pokemon, the mainline series games mostly. We might throw in a few like remakes or some extra things here and there. But we're basically going to go through, we're going to talk about each generation in order. And then each one of us has a rank that we've put each generation. And then at the end, we're going to tally everything up and then see objectively between the 5 of us talking here and the 4 other individuals that submitted mail stuff, where every generation ranks and to see which one is the best. Feel free to change your rankings as you go if somebody sways your opinions a little bit. It's kind of just an open forum. So that's basically the plan. So we can go ahead and get started with Generation 1. Does anyone want to take the lead on it?
9th spot.
Well,
No, I'm kidding.
okay. Let's I feel like we talk about it, and then after we're done talking about it, we'll just speed run rankings at the end, and then we'll move on to the next game. So if anyone has any points about Gen 1 that they feel are important to bring up, now is the time to do so. Otherwise, I can.
I've never actually played Gen 1.
Really?
Ooh. I started out, Fire Red was my first Pokemon game I've ever played. I guess, like, unless you count Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
So I have, like, a little bit of a skewed view. But from the Generation 3 version of it, like, big fan. Thought it was cool. I feel like it's a little bit built up on nostalgia. I thought it definitely paved the way for something great. But I feel like with so many advancements, I feel like it's just a little aged. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think nostalgia factor is kind of the biggest thing that holds Gen 1 together. I mean, and I don't know.
Special attack and attack? Like, come on.
Well, I mean, that doesn't happen for a while because Gen 2 can't get it right either, but it's okay. We'll talk about that. But anyway.
Gen 3 doesn't get it right either, if that's what you're going to argue also. So.
No.
Wait, did they not?
No.
Physical special split didn't come in until Gen 4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Oh my
so,
God.
I mean, Gen 1 is... For it being the first like games in this series, like red, blue, yellow, like green, if you're in Japan, like it was a pretty decent start to this series. But like looking back on it now, the games are broken as all hell. Like
Missing no.
What's that?
Okay. Here's the question for you: what's more broken right now, Gen 9 or Gen 1?
Oh,
In terms of what?
How it works, how it plays.
Performance wise, Gen 9 is awful and terrible compared to Gen 1. Gameplay mechanics wise, Gen 1 is absolutely horrid. Having
can't tell me Gen 9 is bad competitively either. Like, it's just they got so much right.
Having like Gen 1 have crits based off speed, like sleep and paralysis are just like impossible to break through. Like you can literally just run a Nidoking, throw an X accuracy on it, and then Horn Drill never misses. Like,
are you serious?
No, I'm dead ass.
Oh my gosh.
that's the speed run strat. Is you get a Nidoking, you teach it Horn Drill, and then you just spam an X accuracy on it, and then it just Horn Drills everything to death.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it's like music wise, like it's good. The story's okay, but like
Arrival.
We did get
Amazing.
Champion
That
Land.
whole championship where he just gets right there and he's like, haha, I am the Pokemon League champion, and go, nah, I'm sorry you only were this for like 5 seconds, but it's time to fight.
I do enjoy the rival in the
good.
first games, and the champion fight has a special kind of nostalgia attached to it, at least for me anyway. So I don't know. I think that they were a good introduction, but looking back on it now, they definitely don't hold up. I don't know if anyone else has any strong feelings about it.
Lavender Town, really cool. Spawned a lot of copy pastas. Like, it's just so iconic. Like that town in general, so cool. The SS Anne was a super sweet time. loved like going on there, and it's
I
like,
didn't
oh,
like it.
you grind it, you're like, oh my gosh, like I am dying here. All my Pokemon are like super low health, and then out of nowhere, you have to face your rival with just like the most beaten, broken team. It's
Mhm.
just, it's a grind. It's fun.
For sure. Anybody else?
Are we done slandering the games that started it all?
Everyone, there's a reason they call it a humble beginning.
Yeah, I mean it's not slander. It's very like constructive criticism, but it's like
So okay, you got to remember that these games came out in 1990. Like in
Eight,
Japan,
I
they came out
believe.
in 1996.
yeah,
We gotta look it up.
98.
I think it
Right,
is
right?
very unfair to compare technical prowess of Gen 1 to Gen 9. Like that's just not a conversation that I'm going to stand for.
I
But we're not
mean,
because
talking
it's
technical
20
prowess. We're talking mechanics.
yeah,
Is
and
what
we're
talking
we're
about.
comparing the generations together. So
And if you look at other RPGs at the time, like Final Fantasy, there were a lot of things that did get it right.
Ooh.
I don't know if Final Fantasy got it right. at the time.
That's a whole new
It's a
conversation.
whole
That's a-
other can of worms.
What-
Anyway, Josh, continue.
I would just like to point out that for a game that came out in the 90s, super good at like laying the foundation for the entire universe. I think that like having a map and like a story that is, while yes linear, every Pokemon game is linear, but like the rival, as we've said, super good, one of the best rivals in the whole series. Actually like a pretty decent like progression through up until like, you know, gyms 5, 6, and 7 get a little weird, just kind of with how you can
Level
order
scaling.
them and stuff. Yeah, but like there are very few games in this list that get level scaling like down to a T.
Oh, believe me, we know.
Really do.
Oh, I know we're gonna talk about Gen 2, but I think like it does a really good job at laying the foundation.
Mhm.
And while yes, there were some quirks gameplay wise, like, and I definitely have nostalgia for it too. But like Pokemon Blue was the first game I ever played, like
Yeah.
first video game I ever played, and
In general?
I still
Mhm.
yeah, in general,
Oh shit, okay.
Yellow was my first.
No
and I
shit.
still
my first.
Mhm.
really like going back to I still like go back and play these games every once in a while, and
Mhm.
I think they deserve a lot more praise than
Mhm.
the slander.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
fucking-
agree.
No, Pokemon Yellow was actually really good. Like
Mhm.
upscaling the levels and all that.
Mhm. I think the general consensus is as a game to start the series, very good, and having a lot of like memory and nostalgia behind it makes it a pretty solid choice. So we can go. I'll ask for the number rating from all of you. Garrett, where is Gen 1 on your list?
Gen 1 on my list is probably you're out of 9, like
Out of
rank?
9, what rank is it?
Third.
Third? Okay.
Oh Jesus. that's
Sean,
nice.
where is it for you?
I'd give it like 7.
7. Josh, where is it for you?
It is also 3.
3. DJ.
Those are nuts.
5.
5, and it is 3 for me. So
You are nuts, bro.
If you played it, you'd know.
yeah, exactly. And then
That's fair.
from our mailbag, we'll talk about mailbag stuff later. But Quincy gave Gen 1 a 4, Peyton gave it a 5, Hooper gave it a 5, and Ryan gave it a 7. So
Dude, Ryan knows what's up.
Oh, Ryan's too young.
Yeah.
yeah, Ryan talked. It's fine. So average is a 4.66 for this one. Okay, cool. All right, Gen 1 is Dunzo. We can go in order, or we can skip around if you guys want to talk about Gen 2 now or later. It's
I'd
up
be
to
down
you.
talk about
Might as
Gen
well
2.
just go in order.
Okay.
If you
I-
start with one, you might as well
Yeah.
go down the line.
All right. I will open the forum for Gen 2.
Can we talk about the best water starter in any of the Pokemon games, Totodile?
The
Alligator
best?
was the GOAT.
The
Dude, he's
best?
the GOAT, bro. Maybe not
He's
stats
an
wise.
alligator.
Dude,
He's
and
the
the new
he is the
starter
only
from-
good starter in that game.
He's
but
so
like,
cool.
You literally chose an alligator. Foi
Mhm.
Coco at Gen 9, bro. It's literally just an alligator.
I will
But
not-
alligators are cool. I like. Would you rather it be a biped, boys?
I will not stand for Mudkip to have his name drug through the mud like this.
He's a good too. He's a good too.
Anyway, keep going.
I think it's really cool. One of my favorite things too is the way it builds off with kind of the antagonist in the game, kind of like hinting at being Giovanni's kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like in itself is amazing. I think the Japanese architecture you have to explore, like while it like obviously did look very limited, I thought it was very, very cool. I think the music in like Gen 2 is fucking phenomenal.
Agree. Hard agree.
Absolutely
good.
phenomenal.
Can I
And, like-
list 3 tracks? Oh, keep going.
And then the way they work in like the legendary dogs like Ho-Oh, and then there's those maidens and shit. Like I think it's just done so well just from a cultural standpoint. And then like you get through a couple of things, and you come across Whitney's milk tank.
Oh,
And my God, is that the hardest battle in the entire game? Like it's so
Straight up.
nuts, just out of nowhere. But if you can look past that, I think it's got a very good game. I think the characters are very well fleshed out in it. Like the music, again, I'm just gonna say that some of my favorite music in any of the Pokemon games in general. And when you finally beat the Elite Four, and then you go like, oh, okay, like what is this, right? Like you get to go back to Pallet Town, you know, go through
Yeah.
everywhere, and then you get to fight Red, boys. Red.
oh, sick.
I think that's like literally the coolest fight in like any of the Pokemon games.
After getting to go and do a brand new Elite Four again.
Yeah, that's true. That too. I didn't realize it was different.
Well,
Also,
I mean,
it's also a very hard Elite Four battle. At least Lance is.
Yeah.
Like, let's be
It's-
honest. 3 Dragonites underleveled, and you can't have those levels. That means a lot in my games.
That was so cool that he had those. Like, you're like, how did you get these, Lance? You're like, you must be
Just
the
use an
Dragon
ice type
Master.
Pokemon, man. What are you talking
Like, you
about?
must be the Dragon Master.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll just kind of take the reins here, Sean. That was well said.
Thank you.
Generation 2, just wanted to piggyback off the music point. Three tracks I'd like to highlight, which are just some of the most qualified bangers I think ever in Pokemon. Dark Cave. We have the game corner, as well as the champion theme that's used for Lance and Red. Just those 3 tracks, so good. Cyndaquil has a special place in my heart. I love that starter. It's very cool. It was also the first game to introduce breeding, which is a core concept now. Very cool. Had like introduced a nice day-night cycle system and like had all those fun evolution stuff with that. I'm just reading off Pokemon DB right now. Shiny Pokemon added in. Like it's just like they took the base game and just like added to it, and like those features are still seen today. Like so cool. I had like I mean I
Features
wasn't a
from
fan.
Gen 1 to Gen 2?
Like just
Never seen
aw-
before in any other gens afterwards?
right? No. But yeah, I just can't get over the fact that like for what it was made for, the Game Boy Color, they completely maxed out the specs of the hardware.
Yeah.
Like it was completely maxed out. Like the 8-bit tracks were just amazing, and as also like the fact that there's basically 2 games in one. Like the amount of memory. Basically, it's you said mainly most of the points, Sean, but like this game is it's incredible. It's incredible. The battle tower introduced with Crystal as well. It's amazing. Lots and lots of good memories with this.
Plus Critique City. Need I say more? Like just such a magical spot to be.
I think a couple other things that we should mention. One of only 2 games in the entire series that introduced a new type.
What was the new type?
Steel.
Steel.
And
Dark and Steel
Yeah,
both came in
Oh,
Gen 2.
both, yeah.
Oh shit.
My bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dark and
The
Steel.
ones
both
that
came
make
in Gen
sense.
2.
Like the
It was to handle the psychic brokenness.
kind of.
This is we got a special split, so special attack and special defense became 2 different stats, which helped with the balance issues from Gen 1. breeding, like Garrett said, first games to have a day-night cycle.
Oh, true. Yo, I didn't think of that.
Friendship added in, whether you
Gross.
I hate it.
I know, whether you like it or not.
To be fair, that was going to be added no matter what eventually.
Right. Garrett mentioned shiny Pokemon. Also, Gen 2 is the first one where you have different evolution methods other than just level up and trading and stones. There was time of day variances, trading with an item attached, friendship. I mean, it added, it took the base game and it added to it in such cool ways that made it feel like you were expanding the world. And then, oh, by the way, you still had everything that made Red, Blue, and Yellow great in this game. I know it didn't add a ton of Pokemon, but like if you look at some of the other generations, like Gen 2 added 100 Pokemon. Gen 4 added 107. X and Y only added 69 new Pokemon.
Gen 7 only added 80 as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Gen 8 only added 89.
Quality, not quantity.
Like, there have been a ton of other generations that have done less with the roster of Pokemon. And I know like Gen 2 gets a ton of hate because like, oh, they added Ghost type, but there's only one new Ghost Pokemon.
And it's ass.
It is. But
which was
like,
it?
Mischievous.
Mischievous is so cool. So cool. Parasol.
I think like these games truly are my favorite in the series, and I think they did so many things right.
The Red Gyarados. Oh, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
DJ, anything to add?
I don't know. What do you want me to add? You're just gonna hate on it because it was the only game that actually kept and improved on the game beforehand. What other game in the Pokemon franchise did that?
I mean,
none.
Arguably quite a few of them, but
Gen 5.
for different reasons.
Keeping the same mechanics.
For different
and then improving
reasons.
on those same mechanics. No, there's always something new they want to add.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, I can say my piece now. I know we all love Gen 2. I will agree that like adding breeding and like shiny Pokemon into the game is like a pretty good change. Real-time events I'm kind of indifferent on because it's like it's cool, but like having like bug catching, like only being able to do it like once a week at a specific time just seems kind of annoying to me. I kind of experienced the same thing in like Gen 4 with like the Drifloon in front of Valley Windworks. It's like I'm not gonna remember just to like do this, and it's kind of a hassle just to wait.
Yeah, but you could get a Scyther like a third of the game in.
Yeah, a Gen 1 Pokemon. That's crazy.
Like headbutting trees? What a concept.
Yeah, Friendship. I hate Friendship. I've never liked Friendship. I think that in theory it's not a bad plan, but in practice it sucks. I'm just going to list off now, at least from my perspective, a few Gen 2 Pokemon that nobody get excited about, in my opinion. I just like, nobody's excited for like Ledian. Ariados, Meganium's like arguably the worst starter in the series.
I know that
to go from Bayleaf to Meganium is very disappointing, and I feel
What
like
do you mean Ledian, bro? Ledian's such a fun Pokemon.
I think you might be the only human being that thinks Ledian is cool.
I rocked the Ledian on my first playthrough.
It looks like a Power Ranger, bro. What do you mean?
Ledian is cool. It's just it's a bug type, so it gets
terrible.
Like Noctowl being the regional bird, like Quillfish is like not great. Mischievous being the only ghost type. Like baby Pokemon got added in, which I mean are like
cute.
Fine, I guess, but mostly
Cup.
Just like annoying and terrible. Like
Baby Cup,
Sunflora, Yanma, Apom, like
Yanma's cool. Yanma's cool. Don't be hating on that.
Yeah,
Girafarig is just kind of like there. The Macargo line.
No,
Sneeze.
you can't. I won't handle slander on Girafarig. Take that back right now, bro.
We can go through literally every generation and pick out the dud Pokemon.
Oh
like,
no, I'm making this point just
for
because
Gen
it's
5.
like I feel like Gen 2
Always
just
for
had
Gen
so
5, yeah.
many Pokemon that like not terrible Pokemon, but just like not exciting. Like it's just
Ferret is literally bigger than Charizard.
Furret is a ferret. Like,
So
And it's
cute. It's
bigger
and it
than
learns
Charizard.
surf. It learns surf.
good
thing
for
is-
Furret.
That's so cool. Lore-wise, that thing's like 7
Yeah.
feet tall.
I
I
don't
would
know,
love
man.
a ferret.
Tyranitar.
Sneasel.
Slow
Well, I'm
King.
getting there. I'm
Slow
getting there.
King,
Just relax.
dude.
There's a polarity because things like Steelix, Scizor, like are really really cool, but you have to trade
Say
to
a
get them.
polarity.
Sneasel is like cool, but having
Gengar is
both
cool, though.
both dark and ice types in the game being special types really sucks for it. Houndoom is cool, but only available in the post game. Tyranitar is cool, but only available in the post game. Typhlosion is the most uninspired starter ever because it's literally just Charizard. It is literally a carbon copy of it.
What do you mean?
It's
What?
got the
Typhlosion,
same.
do not
It's
say
got
that.
the same base
it is.
stats. It is
Hey,
the
I'll admit that.
identical.
You do the same thing with
It is-
Infinite from
It's
Blaziken. It's just
identical.
a fighting chicken to fighting monkey. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. Like,
exactly. The fire starters
all across the
have-
gens. Every gen has
have
this.
that issue.
It's an
That's true.
archetype. It's
But
an
like
archetype.
making a carbon copy clone because you can't think of anything else, like, man, I don't know.
Maybe what a
That's just my
Fire player
the
would like, though, you know?
the other like big gripe that I have with Gen 2 is the pacing of the game is just terrible. Like I have a question for you, like a hypothetical. So like the 8th gym is in Blackthorn City, right? And arguably at the 8th gym, like Pokemon around the area should be like a pretty high level, right? The route just south of Blackthorn City, what level of Pokemon do you guys catch down there? What do you
They're
think?
in like their high teens and low
25.
20s.
Yeah, you can catch level 23 Pokemon. The like level scaling in the game is so bad.
You're
like,
supposed to train them yourself, Noah. There's no free rides in
well,
Johto.
when three of the gym leaders all have like the same level and there's like no linearity and like to fight all like it's just so messy. It seems like they tried to just pack it all in and
3 gym leaders the way I want to complete them, not down to shove down my
Yeah, but
throat.
in-
I have
in
to go this gym leader to this
contrast
gym leader
though
to
to
this
go
gym
from
leader for the story. Oh no.
gyms into that and then into an Elite Four, it's just like I don't know, man. It's like they added Kanto into the game afterwards and like that's fine, but like Kanto doesn't add a whole lot of like new stuff from when we played through Kanto the first time. It's there to serve as kind of like this gym gauntlet and the nostalgia factor, at least from
Yeah.
like my perspective, which is like
And you can take all those new Pokemon that are only available in the post game, and you have a massive post game to use them in.
where you
Pokemon.
fight gym
The fact
leaders
that
and
they're
do
all, like,
basically nothing else.
Pokemon with the post game?
the old gyms you remember, but like they're way stronger now. It's kind of cool going back
Yeah.
and like seeing them in. a
It's
different
cool
light.
to have Gen 1 carry the end of Gen 2, you know what I'm saying?
All right, let's we need
Uh,
to vote.
No. I got a few points left. I'm
Oh my
almost done though.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that all the gym leaders in Johto have Kanto Pokemon. There are only 3 Johto Pokemon in the 8 gym leaders. Steelix for Jasmine, Piloswine for Price, and Claire has a Kingdra. Otherwise, they are all Kanto Pokemon. The gym leaders,
Whitney.
well, the Miltank and the Whitney,
Yeah.
so I guess it's 4. But like,
An
still,
idiot.
Morty like having just Gengar and like it's man like if you're gonna make this cool new generation of Pokemon, it's like let the gym leaders have like Pokemon like Bugsy, like give him a Heracross or something. Like
You can't tell me that Scyther didn't put the fear of God in you.
it's
when
a
you were 12
Kanto
years old.
Pokemon though. It's like I don't want to fight through Kanto Pokemon again. I
Your
want to fight
argument?
through
And
Johto.
I didn't want to fight an all of Unova with pure Unova Pokemon, but here we are.
Oh, that's a
Can't
the
please
debate, too.
everybody. See, I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
know. That and
Just
then
keep it
it's
going.
like the last point that I add in here was like the rocket hideouts are just extremely boring. You just spam fight grunts until you get to a lame admin fight, and then the climax of the story is like notice me Giovanni, and basically nothing else. And I don't know. Heart Gold and Soul Silver were like okay, but it was Gen 4 mechanics that made the game better. So, but that's my spiel. I'm done now.
Wow.
I ranted,
He's gonna-
but I got through
Who
everything
hurt
that I
you?
needed to. Huh? Gen
Yeah,
2.
who did?
Gen 2 hurt
Who
me.
didn't hold you when you were a baby? Was it
Gen
Josh?
2 hurt
Josh
me.
did not hold him?
I was
Gen-
too busy playing gold.
Gen 2 hurt me.
That
All right,
explains it.
let's
All the child trauma.
Let's get to rankings. For context, Ryan gave Gen 2 a 6, Hooper gave it a 7, Peyton gave it a 7, and Quincy gave it an 8. Garrett, what are you giving it?
I'm giving it an unbiased, calculated 1.
1. Sean, what are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 2.
2. Josh.
A 1.
1. DJ.
You have to ask.
It's a 1. And for me, it's a 9. On to Gen 3.
Oh my
So
god.
to be fair, I did not put Scarlet in my rankings because I didn't feel like it was fair with the recency bias. See, that's just me though. So.
I mean, we can, for all intents and purposes, leave Gen 9 out. I just have to do some math, but
No, that's just me. I'm just saying I didn't rank. I just wanted to make that disclaimer because I just didn't want to deal with the recency bias.
I definitely ranked it.
Mm-hmm. I tried to stay as objective as I could, but I mean, if you didn't rank Gen 9, it's not a big deal. So, all right, moving on to Gen 3. Anybody want to start? If not,
let's start the debate and end the debate right now. 7.6, too much water. What are we?
That is the main the main backbone.
DJ, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm. I will admit, yes, too much water.
I mean, it did put in like abilities and natures, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Double battles were added, so that's definitely a cool mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like,
contests, weather.
I'm sick of I need Surf to access literally half the map, and every other wild Pokemon is a Tentacool.
That's a fair criticism.
I like the evil teams.
I'm
okay. They're just a James Bond.
Yeah.
No, Lex Luthor. That's what it is. The Lex Luthor.
Magma and Aqua are like, I mean, it's almost funny, like how irrational both of them are. I mean, it's like they're both very dedicated to their cause, and I think Archie and Maxie are like very good characters. But as far as like the end goal, it seems a little silly for the most part, but I mean, they're not the first evil team leaders to be a little bit on the unhinged side of things, so
they're not even really unhinged. They're just
dumb.
One-dimensional.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I will say, like, evil, like splitting the Pokemon that they have split, like using like Camerupt and like Torkoal as opposed to like Sharpedo and like some of the water type Pokemon is really nice. I like the contrast between the two a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think design wise, like I love the designs of the Gen 3 Pokemon. I mean, you get things like Flagon, like Milotic, Absol, Aggron, Metagross. Like the starters are like some of my favorites personally. I love Swampert to death. But I think design wise, it's like
what do you mean? They have mons like Love Disc.
Yeah, but they also have, you know, Absol. Like Claydol
Breloom
is
was so
pretty
cool.
Breloom's are. I think the legendary trio is like very, very cool. And like it's a pretty iconic trio still today. I think in today's games, I think that they should leave them behind. I don't think that they need to keep popping up. But I think for the time, like the legendary Pokemon and then the story behind like the Reggies and stuff and the methods to get that was creative, but I'll admit a little bit annoying too for the most part.
A little bit. You tell me as a 9-year-old you wanted to read Braille to get 3 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I don't know. I felt like the rest of the game was awesome though. Like the gyms really felt like they had like a lot of personality. Like Steven is objectively just like a really good character and a really good champion. Already talked about the legendary Pokemon. Like
the rest of the Elite Four is terrible.
Yeah, I have it as the second easiest Elite Four.
Yeah. Difficulty wise, I mean, it's like you have like Drake.
So I'm gonna pop this. Your argument for Gen 2, why aren't they using just pure Gen 2 mons? That's the problem with the Elite Four. They're using pure Gen 3 mons. Look at Phoebe. 2 Dusclops, 2 Bennetts, and a Sableye. Are you joking?
Glacia literally has 2 Pokemon.
At least they hold true to the generation, though.
That doesn't mean it makes it better. It just makes it worse.
It's from a difficulty perspective, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Drake has a Shelgon? Are you...
Wait.
What? Elite
Exactly.
Four?
I mean,
Like not fully
Lance
developable.
Lance in Gen 1 is this tamer of dragons and has like one has like
There
a
was-
Gyarados, an
there was-
Aerodactyl, like
They look like
Not the
dragons, though.
argument here.
They
We're
look
just saying.
like dragons.
We're just saying what held them back was they were stuck with just Gen 3 mons.
yeah. Yeah, Gen 3 is like not the first generation that like just has a snooze fest of an Elite Four, I will admit.
Also,
one exception to that,
Wally.
DJ.
Hmm.
Steven has a Skarmory.
I mean, yeah, that is the one. But I'm just gonna throw it out. I hate Wally.
Oh yeah, Wally's terrible.
I mean, Wally doesn't really play a whole lot into the story.
I know, but that's a terrible rival.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, arguably like Dawn or what the fuck? What else is his name? Lucas, I think, is the rival in the game.
No, you have Barry for Gen 4.
I mean, you fight him like twice though.
You fight
Barry?
him more than twice.
Or no, not Barry. I was talking about Wally.
Yeah, but he's still technically the rival. So
Yeah. It's better
Oh
than
my
like Gen
gosh.
5 having like 3 different rivals.
I'm looking at Glacier's team. It's two
It's so
Glalie, two Celios, and a Walrein.
that's
Yep.
so bad.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 Pokemon. Better than like Gen 5. What is it? Both Gen 5 and Gen 6 only have like 4 Pokemon per Elite Four member, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have a hay fest with that later. I don't know. For me, like Gen 3, despite its flaws and stuff, has a lot of like special nostalgia for me. It was like the first game that I played through like all the way through. And then the remakes, it's like, I'm not going to base a lot of ranking and thought on like remakes, but Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I think were amazing. And like the Delta episode post game, and that was like the first game where I actually felt like I wanted to keep playing past the Elite Four. And I don't know. It's, to me, it was just like really, really solid. I loved everything about it. And it was definitely one of my favorites for sure. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
Not particularly.
Okay.
I don't have any. I've never played them.
Well, let's go to a ranking then. Garrett, where is Gen 3 on your list?
It is ranked 5th.
5th. Sean, where is it on your list, even though you haven't played it?
I'm gonna give it a 4 because I played Fire Red
Okay,
and I enjoyed Fire Red.
sure. Josh, where is it at on yours?
6.
6. DJ, how about you?
4.
4, and for me, it's number 1. Quincy gave it a 5. Peyton gave it a 2. Hooper gave it a 2, and Ryan gave it a 5.
A lot of young people in their rankings. You can just see it in their rankings.
It's a lot of Gen 4 and Gen 5 love for sure. Speaking of Gen 4, though, if anyone wants to take the lead on Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl, you are more than welcome to.
It's another one I've only played the remake on,
Yeah.
but I loved Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Thought those were insanely fun.
I'll just get the cat out of the bag. They're the slowest games ever.
Mm-hmm. I agree. They just feel, I mean, it's not like Sun and Moon kind of slow, but like to get into everything, it just feels so.
No, I'm talking just. I'll send the video again.
It does take a very long time.
I always
Um,
wanted to play them, but I just never did. They looked so pretty.
Yeah, it is really disappointing that like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were literally just like copy and paste remakes of the games, and they didn't really add a whole lot of substance to it. I mean, at least like a few things that like were good that came out of Gen 4. It's like you got the physical and special split, which like really
Thank God.
really like needed to happen at that point. I think the designs of the Pokemon are cool. Like getting like some pre-existing Pokemon, some evolutions like Magmortar, Electivire, Weavile, Magnezone are all like really, really cool. I think
they look so ugly.
Really?
You can go on though. Yeah,
That's
Magmortar
really-
looks stupid. Magmortar looks
yeah.
stupid.
I think
What it does. I also
Uh,
think Magnum
I
Zone
don't
kind of
know.
looks stupid too.
yeah, I
Yon
just thought
Mega's
they
pretty
were,
cool
like,
though.
true, but like Rhyperior, I don't know. I was just not a fan of what they did. But hot
Yeah,
take.
yeah. I like my preference is right on personally, but I mean, just like getting those Monsum evolutions, I guess is like pretty cool for the most part. Gen 4 was also the first gen to institute Pokemon following behind you. Ooh, very cool. I don't know. I like the evil team in Gen 4. I think it has like one of the better storylines behind it. I don't know if you guys agree with it or not. Cyrus seems like a pretty decent villain, I guess. And then like the thing that like carries Gen 4 for everybody is just Cynthia, right? Can we all just
Elite Four,
acknowledge
general.
the Elite
I-
Four?
She
The
bad.
Elite
She
Four,
bad.
yeah, like Cynthia's great. I think the Elite Four, the other four members of the Elite Four, are actually like, as a group, I think one of the top two Elite Fours in the entire series.
The only one that I don't like is freaking Flint. It's like, why does he have a Steelix and a Lopunny and a Drifblim? Like,
There's literally what Chimchar and Ponyta as your options.
yeah,
Not
I mean-
a lot of fire types.
Nothing's fixed until Platinum, and even then, it's not fixed.
right. I mean, even as an Elite Four member, though, it's like just, I mean, you could give him something that like you can't catch in the game. I mean, it's like in BDSP, at least like Houndoom is introduced into the game, but they still don't give like him anything. But I mean, I think Lucian is really like, I love Lucian's team. I think Bertha's like an interesting concept. Aaron is like a little underwhelming. The Drapion is really spooky, but I don't know. And Cynthia's team is obviously like Cynthia's team, so nobody's gonna argue with that. The only thing I really enjoyed about BDSP is how challenging the Elite Four is. And I'll admit, it was like I lost to it once, and the only reason I beat it the second time is because of friendship, which is a bad mechanic. So
Dude, I swept it all with a Craniados. First try.
with a Cranidos,
You know
Probably
it, dude.
means Rampardos.
like a Rampardos, what level was
Oh,
the
Ramparados, yeah.
What level
There we
was
go.
it?
I think around 50 something or 60.
Oh, okay.
Probably just choice scarf it and head
Oh,
smash.
yeah.
No,
that's-
Swords Dance and agility, actually.
Ooh, okay, fair enough. But EV training, like the Elite Four teams, was a pretty cool change, I guess, for BDSP. But I don't know.
And you talk about as a 12-year-old in the post game in Platinum, they give you your own villa. They literally give a 12-year-old a house.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, isn't it? I did that. I was streaming once, and we like had a discussion. It's like we should just go through one time and try to find out all of the different crimes that are committed in Pokemon games.
Yeah,
like
that'd be an interesting tier list.
like child abandonment, theft, stealing people's money after beating up their tiny little monsters, a bike costing $1 million. Like there's a number of things that are a little on the side for that, for
Maybe
sure.
they're just very expensive.
Yeah.
Like in that region, you know, we don't know.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, overall for me, Gen 4 is fun, but I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily on the pedestal that people put it on. Platinum really carried it. Diamond and Pearl were not as good in my opinion.
Platinum is Gen 4. That's all you need.
Yeah, for sure. So
And it had Battle Revolution as a spin-off on the Wii. That shit was dope.
I want them to do like an HD remake of Battle Revolution. I think it'd be really cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into our rankings for Gen 4. Then the youthfulness of our male friends is going to show. DJ Quincy gave it a 1, Peyton gave it a 1, Hooper gave it a 1, and Ryan gave it a 3. So Garrett, where's Gen 4 on your list?
Okay, just because my rankings are a little skewed because I only really put it if I played it. If I played that gen, so I'm saying it's like the first of the games that I didn't play. So it's going to be 6.
6. Sean, where's Gen 4 for you?
I'd probably put it at about a 5.
5. Josh?
4.
4. DJ?
And with the young ones on this, it's a 2.
It's a 2. Nice. And I gave it a 5. All right, sounds good. Moving on to our halfway point. Good old Gen 5 crafters. I hope you're listening, and I hope you don't get disappointed in what we're all about to say. But so I'll leave it up to Sean. Do you want to bring Gen 5 up after we're done talking, or would you like us to give you the floor?
I'll let you guys talk, and then I'd rather have the final say. I'd rather have the final say. Thank you for that. Thank you for the
Yeah. All right. I guess as far as Gen 5, it took a bit of a leap of faith, right? You know, like basically hard resetting everything and having all Gen 5 Pokemon, nothing previous until like post-game stuff. It's an interesting concept, but the designs of the Pokemon in the Gen are just like very polarizing because you get cool things like Gigalith, Zoroark, Ferrothorn, like Chandelure, Bisharp, Hydreigon, like all those are super awesome, right? But then you get stuff like the Monkey Trio, Watchhog, Swoobat, Sigilif, like Garbodor is literal garbage.
Vanillux.
Yeah, Vanillux. the fossil Pokemon are fossil Pokemon. The one thing that I think just kind of carries Gen 5, like it does have a pretty good story. I think its story is like one of the best in the series for the most part. Triple battles and rotation battles came in Gen 5. I don't think anyone really cared much for those personally. Hidden abilities were also put into the Gen. And then the biggest like quality of life improvement, in my opinion, putting the market and the Pokemon Center in the same building was really nice. But I don't know. Like towards the end of the game, you get to the Elite Four and stuff. The Elite Four is just kind of like eh. But I don't know. I'm very meh about Gen 5. I played through it like one time, so I can't say much else. I don't know if anyone else has any other things to add.
Worst maps in the series. I'm sorry. They're the worst. You can't have the whole map and then cut half of it off and tell you, nah, you got to wait till post-game. That's in Black and White and Black and White too. It's not just like they didn't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
They just moved the other half to make you go the other way. You can't. You got to open the map up.
Yeah. I mean, arguably it's better than like Kalos, but it's pretty close. It's very, very linear in that opinion, but yeah, I don't know. I think
rival system. Can't do two rivals.
So, gym wise, all have 3 or less Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
That
it's
is dumb.
Kind of boring.
That is dumb.
It's bad.
Also, Elite Four only has 4 Pokemon each, and I think if you asked me, just on a random day to name the Elite Four, or honestly even like the gym leaders out of this gen, I don't know that I can do it right away.
Elite Four members, I probably could. Gym leaders, no.
Yeah.
Like Alder, least inspiring champion in the entire series.
Mm-hmm. Iris is pretty cool, but like, I will agree.
Okay, but that's Black and White 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
You're telling me you're gonna forget Skyla?
Yes.
Yes,
we are.
Vanilla exists.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, go ahead.
So you said the story's the best one. The problem is, like, I had this argument with Sean early on. It's a Pokemon game still.
Not known for their story. Yeah.
Maybe that's you.
You're not playing. You're not playing for the story, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't think the story was that great.
Yeah, I don't know. The two last things I have, I think the starter trio is like, I'm very sorry, crafters, but like Emboar, Samurott, and Superior are like, I don't want to say they're the worst, but they're very, very forgettable. Like, I will say though, on a unrelated note about the games, I enjoyed N as like a character, and like the obscurity behind him. He's not really even like an antagonist. He's like the anti-protagonist. Somebody said that a while back. I think it might have been DJ. I don't remember, but I don't know. I personally liked his character and thought that it was an interesting take, a step into right field, if you will. But that's all that I really have. If anyone else has anything, we can let Sean convince us otherwise.
I'll just say like quick 2 cents, which is like I agree with the starters. They're all kind of ugly, but yeah, I also just wanted to add to that point too. I really agree with just like the range of Pokemon are either really really cool, like you said, Golurk, like Golurk, Bishop. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like they're either so cool with Hydreigon and stuff like that, or you get stuff like
Sage.
oh my gosh, that's just so bad. That
Yeah.
and like, but you get cool things like Chinchino. You get the best Pokemon, my boy, Whimsicott introduced. Things like that. But yeah, overall, I although it's like a risk doing Unova only, I actually quite appreciate that. Like, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool just to like really focus on that. But
Yeah,
that's just
I
my opinion.
think that it's like, I don't know. I feel pretty indifferent about it at times because it's like I don't want to just like go into every Pokemon game and be like, all right, I'm gonna get my Gyarados to like go through that. So I enjoy that they like sort of force you to play with the new Pokemon, but you know, do you restrict yourself in a way by doing that? I don't know. It's a matter of
Looks pretty
opinion.
beautiful though. The game though, it's very nice.
I like the art
do
style.
do have one more thing before we give it over to Sean. This is the second Pokemon game to be taking place in America.
True. All right, Sean, go
Because that
ahead.
matters so much.
Okay, I want to start off by bringing up the Simisage comment.
Uh-huh.
I'll agree with Simisear and Simipour, but Simisage I think is actually kind of a cool Pokemon. Is it good stat-wise? Maybe not, but I think the design's actually kind of cool. I think if they left it to just the grass monkey, we could have had something good there. And just I want to start off too by saying the music in this game I would say is debatably some of the best music we've had in a Pokemon game. Driftvale City is a bop. The gym leader battle's fair. Some of them are kind of boring, but like Skyla, there was I can't remember that girl's name, but she's the electric gym leader.
Eliza.
She's fucking sick.
You just think that because you're simping.
I am simping. But they
She's
also
got
have
two
some seriously
Emolgas.
cool moves. Like what was it? Acrobatics was introduced in this, and that was cool because it like incentivizes you to not have items. And fair rotation battles were crappy. I'll give you that. But I think the other stuff that it introduced, like triple battles, was kind of cool. I don't know. I'm not the one. I can't say double battles are any cooler though. You know what I mean? Like multiple battles are still
Yeah.
bad. Single battles are definitely where it shines. But we also got like other abilities. Mold Breaker. We got Excadrill. We got Conkeldurr. Like Seismitoad's really good. There was like a ton of solid Pokemon this season. Like, and some of them like basically shaped the meta and are still like in there today, which is insane. Like you got like tons of tanks like Ranunculus. You got Gothitelle. We've seen like a lot of cool like one-offs too with Cincino working really well. So I think like just from like a meta standpoint too, I feel like a lot of these Pokemon are the most viable. And hidden abilities, boys. I think that added like one of the biggest layers as well. But plus like also since we're talking about crimes, I'm very all over the place with this because I'm trying to address everything you boys said. So just bear with me.
Yeah.
Some of the coolest box legendaries in
I
all of the
know.
generations. Yes.
Disagree.
I will die on that hill, bro. I will die on that hill.
Rasher,
Jet
Zekrom's cool, but like Reshiram,
Yeah, because it fits. I don't know. At least it like that's what N had, and I think that is such like
literally
a Pokemon that N has, bro.
Jets.
I mean, Latios and Latias are both planes too, but
And that still makes them terrible. I'm not
No, bro, I
biased
like
there.
those two. I like those two. Maybe I just like the car looking ones because I like that new one in Gen 9 too.
The Elite Four. I know how y'all were like kind of sad that they only had 4 Pokemon, but when you rematch them, they come like with 6. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a good rematch.
I think
it sucks
that
that you have
happens
to like
in-
you have to rematch them,
Yeah.
but like it would be
Plus,
cool if
get
it was just
Chantel.
initially like that. But
right,
very very stacked teams. Not gonna lie.
for sure. All right, cool. So as far as rankings wise, Ryan gave Gen 5 a 1, and Hooper, Peyton, and Quincy all gave it a 3. So, Garrett, what is your Gen 5 rank?
Gen 5 does hold a pretty special place in my heart. It's kind of where I started competitive Pokemon. So I'm going to give it a 2.
2. Sean.
I'm gonna give it a 1. I
1.
think it's amazing.
Josh.
9.
Oh.
Oh, get him out of here.
DJ.
6.
6, and I gave it a 7.
Oh, it hurts. It's got some common sense in there.
Yeah. I will say competitively, like Gen 5, I think like really kind of changed the way that competitive is seen and stuff.
Oh, it's solidified so much, like so much that we still see today, boys.
Yeah. I like Gen 5.
power
It's just
grab
like,
gen ever.
yeah, it just feels, too forgettable for me. But anyway, let's hop into Gen 6. I'll be honest.
Forgettable.
Yeah, I was going to
Talking
say,
about
I think I played through like half of the Gen 6 is the only Pokemon game I don't think I've finished. But a few notes. Gen 6 introduced horde battles, if anyone cares about those. The biggest thing about this game is the first 3D Pokemon game to exist, and also the first game to feature Mega Pokemon. So,
Positive.
yeah, just a quick note about Mega Evolution, then I'll let somebody else talk. I think Mega Evolution's cool. However, I don't think that like things like Metagross and Salamence and Garchomp and like Deontay, I don't think any of those Pokemon needed a Mega. I think that like it should have been given to Pokemon that like need it to be a bit more viable. Like Mega Beedrill is freaking cool, and
Mega Stabline.
yeah, it makes them like more viable, but not like ungodly broken, like Mega Alakazam and like those things too. So I think it's a cool idea in concept, but like there just needed to be different Pokemon that had it. But that's basically all I have to say there. So somebody else can chat if they want.
Yeah, no.
Not all at
about
once.
it. We're gym leaders. We're still Elite Four. Like,
All I remember is the professor being a little sexy, and
Yeah.
that's like it.
Come
We
on.
got Froakie. That was kind
Uh-huh.
of hype, but other than that, like
I think Greninja's
I don't remember.
overrated, honestly. I don't know.
I
I
think
just love
Greninja's
frogs.
cool.
Yeah. The map was just very, very linear too. I know I said it when we talked about Gen 5, but
We
Music's
talked about that
good.
one
I'll
dude
give it
Volcat,
that.
too.
mhm.
It was just unsightly.
I think-
Oh, the one of the rivals, one of
Yeah.
the 4 rivals.
Dude,
Yeah.
Volcat was nuts.
It's like they picked 3 or 4 options instead of just sticking with something decent. I don't know. In my opinion, when it comes to Gen 6, I feel like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire just kind of carried it. But I don't know if that's fair for me to say, not having played through all of Gen 6. I've seen a lot of people play through it, but I just have never really had the desire to run through it myself. So,
Me and Sean had this topic before the movie. I'll say this: Team Flare and Lysandre, one of the worst evil groups.
No,
Yeah.
I love Lysander though.
Yeah.
I love
Terrible.
Lysander.
Lysandre
amazing.
so bad.
you're so edgy, Sean.
Dude, he's so sick though. Like, what do you mean? He was
he's
literally
not.
gonna just like destroy everything, so he would be the one in charge. Like, he's so
No,
sick.
no, it's
and that
not
fucking
even.
robot
to
suit that
destroy
he had.
everything to go back to beautiful nature. He wanted to kill all humans.
Yeah, he's literally like psychotic. Like,
Yeah, like that's like.
I mean,
what
it's
I like in a
cool,
villain,
but
though,
like
you know?
I just found him extremely unrelatable. Like,
You're telling me it's like okay, but to be fair, we went from that to Team Skull. You know what I mean?
yeah, we'll talk about Team Skull.
Also, you fight him 3 times within like a 30-minute gameplay span. 3
Yeah.
times. That's terrible.
Anyone else? Anything else? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it was cool. So number one, fairy type.
Yeah.
Just a new type in general getting added, I think is great.
Makes no sense.
Do you think that they just added it because dragons were too good?
Yes.
And
I
it needed
think-
to be done.
I
It
think-
needed to be done.
I think it just like fairy just needed like 1 or 2 more weaknesses. Like make it weak to like bug or something, so bug is not like totally ass.
That would have been awesome.
But like just being weak to steel and poison, like man.
Normal type's only weak to fighting.
True,
That's
but
true.
but
That's-
fairy type is arguably much more broken than
Well,
just because of resistances, I guess.
Okay,
but
I'm not.
How many moves are normal super effective against? Like,
nothing.
I'm
I want
not
them to
saying
introduce a new type.
anything. I'm not saying anything for or against the competitive viability of fairy type. I'm just saying it's cool that after 14 years and 4 generations, we got a new type.
With a new evolution,
Yeah,
too.
I would agree.
I
this
think
was to make more sense.
being 3D and not being forced into up, down, left, or right as a direction was cool. And I will say I really enjoyed Mega Evolution a lot more than I thought I would
Mhm.
or I thought I would. We'll talk about it in the coming up gens, but like the gimmicks that they've had since Mega Evolution have all sucked. And I think Megas were decent.
Mhm. Power creep, mega power creep. No
Yeah.
pun intended.
I don't think it's as power crept as Gen 5 altogether.
Yeah, Gen 5 had big power creep. But anyway, as far as rankings are concerned, Gen 6, Ryan gave it a 2. Hooper gave it a 4. Peyton gave it a 4. Quincy gave it a 9. Garrett, where is it on your list?
It's I never played it,
Yeah.
but the Pokemon they did add, well, they're all bad. So that's a 9.
Oh, Sean, where is it for you?
For me, it's a 9, just because like I honestly couldn't remember like anything about it.
Yep. Josh,
It's 5 on my list.
5.
Five.
DJ,
Oh, it's last on mine at
9, and I gave it an 8. So,
So bad.
okay.
Like,
That's
even
the-
Goodra, the pseudo legendary's bad.
I think Hisui and Gudra's sick and very like annoying to deal with, but that's a whole new conversation too. All right though, let's move on into Generation 7. Anybody want to take the lead on 7? If not, I got a few things written down.
It's a vacation away from Pokemon.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
It was a bad thing. I think it's cool that they tried to go away from gyms, but the execution of it was pretty meh.
Mhm.
The trials are fine.
I
not
think-
really anything to write home about.
I think they just needed more. Like they just needed like an extra step to them or something more to really hone them in, I guess.
Yeah. I think the different forms of Pokemon being introduced is neat. However, I think a lot of the Alolan forms are pretty bad.
Oh, it's so cool.
No, oh my god, they're so good.
Marowak is good. Raichu is good.
Muck, Exeggutor, dude, you're telling me a poison
Sandslash is
dark
good.
type, with high defense is
Ninetales?
not good?
Ninetales,
I love
Sandslash,
Any
cool.
type of new forms, like, even if
Yeah.
they're bad, it's just cool.
The
Yeah.
Doug trio,
Yeah.
dude. You're
The,
telling me
the
a
Doug
Alolan
trio
Doug
is
trio?
bad. Let's not
Oh,
pretend
the
that's
Doug-
good.
Eradicate.
Eradicate didn't need it either.
Persian, Raticate, Muck, all bad.
I love when bad.
The
Pokemon
Muck
are
one,
cool.
dude. I loved Muck.
Muck one's so cool.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Um,
Poison dark type, Josh. That's such a. It's so
Persian,
busted.
Persian and Eradicate though did not need it. Neither did Doug.
I liked
Trio.
Raticate.
Anyway,
I don't know. I like it.
keep going, Josh.
I think the Ultra Beasts are the worst thing that ever happened to Pokemon.
Oh man. Okay.
They are. I
Same as
am.
Deoxys.
I am so uninvested in the entire Ultra Beast plotline. It's bad. I think they're not Pokemon, which makes them like, why are they in the game? Why can we catch them? Why can we use them like Pokemon if they're not Pokemon? It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I think they're terrible. I think all their designs are stupid.
You don't like Xurkitree? You don't think
No.
Xurkitree is cool? Really?
I think Ultra Beasts are my least favorite Pokemon in the entire franchise.
Man. Okay.
Like, I love
And-
Naganadel.
Like even Nihilego,
Nope.
I feel is cool,
Nope.
but
Can't
this
do
is-
it. Can't do it.
I have a feeling I know where this is going to be on Josh's list based on.
Well, it's based on what I have left.
Yeah.
Z moves are cool, but not as good as Mega Evolution, and I think like I wish more Pokemon had unique Z moves.
Yeah. I
think
mean,
that
there's
would've
quite a few of like specific Z moves though.
There's a few.
Like all the starters get one, Pikachu gets one, Snorlax gets one, Mimikyu gets one, just like off the top of my head.
Does Beware get one?
No.
They should have given him one.
They should have.
Yeah, that's about it. I just one of the worst Elite Fours.
Yeah, I'll admit the Elite Four
thing.
feels pretty meh. So does like the champion. Like the champion being Kukui is like pretty cool. I like that like you can go back and like challenge other people like for the Elite Four afterwards, and there's like a bunch of different people that you can fight. But the Elite Four as a whole is pretty eh.
The captains
Youngster
are,
Joey finally gets to the championship.
That I thought was hilarious, personally. Yeah, I mean I don't disagree with a lot of the things you say. I will say though, like I feel like the map of the game and the scenery was like really, really awesome. Z moves, I don't know. I'm a bit indifferent on Z moves. I don't think that they were great, but I don't think that they were awful. I think the legendary Pokemon in this game, like Lunala and Solgaleo, are like some of the best legendary designs that we've had. Personally, I think
agree.
that they look incredible.
best box art legendaries.
Yeah. One of my biggest gripes about the game is that it takes way too long in the start of the game to get going. It's like an hour and 40 minutes of like cutscenes and talking and doing all this stuff before you actually get to play, which is really, really annoying. But I mean, you get like new Pokemon designs. Like a lot of the new Pokemon I thought like felt appropriate for the region. I thought that they were really cool. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I have a note here, is just like a pretty big letdown, I guess. But if you hadn't played Sun and Moon, then I guess it's fine. A few random points before I let anyone else go. Gen 7 was the first or the last generation to have a national Pokedex. Don't know if people really care about that now. It was the first generation where you could see your stat changes in battle. Also, one of the best things ever, they removed HMs and gave you ride Pokemon.
I agree.
So you didn't have to do that. And then the last point that I had is I think that Lusamine is actually a pretty underrated villain. I think DJ agrees with me on that. But I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on it. She's literally just a crazy lady, but I think it's cool.
My only thing to contribute is that they added, I think, possibly one of the coolest Pokemon with the coolest abilities in this generation, Silvally. I think the Arceus system is super sick, and I'd love to see more of something like that in another Pokemon.
It's cool how like Silvally like sort of ties into like Arceus in a way. I think that there's like an argument that it's sort of like a descendant or like
It's a maid.
Yeah.
It's a man-made version.
Yeah, it was made
Yeah.
from the DNA of like every single Pokemon. They
Mhm.
tried doing Mew basically.
Yeah. It would be nice if you could get that before like the very end of the game, but I mean it is what it is, I guess. Any other strong thoughts about Gen 7?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm a great component of Gen 7. Yes, I agree. It's very slow. It has the Gen 4 problem,
Mhm.
which everyone can probably agree on that. I think this is another battle, quality over quantity. Most of the Mons in Gen 7, no one's going to be like, oh, that's bad. Like most of the Mons are going to be like either neutral on it. They're pretty cool,
Mhm.
all honesty. I think, as you said, Lusamine is cool. Yes, Team Skull's not that cool, but
Oh,
when
I
you think
forgot
of
Team
it more
Skull.
when you think of it more as a disgruntled version of people kicked out of society and all that because of the trial system,
Mhm.
and they've come under Guzma, that's better than what Team Yell and Team Star is.
Oh, yeah. That's fair
Like
too.
it's just
I agree. My boy
Lusamine's
Guzma.
good. The difficulty in the game's actually not that bad. I think it's one of the higher scaled difficulties. in
Very
any of
hard
the
to Nuzlocke, actually.
Yes, that's the big thing because the totem Pokemon with the
Mhm.
call can make everything a lot more difficult than you need to be.
Yeah.
All depending on the AI. It
Mhm.
like the Ultra Necrozma and S Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon 2, that could literally just take you a while to do if you're not prepared for it. Like as you said, the Elite Four is not amazing, but with Z moves, everything's difficult. Kukui's actually a somewhat good champion type battle. It's just one of the more scaled difficulties in Pokemon, which I think is underrated because people don't like playing through them.
Yeah, that's fair. Good points. Good points for sure. Anybody else? Okay, cool. We got about 15 minutes left for 2 generations, which is good. So, ranks for Gen 7. Ryan gave it an 8. Hooper gave it a 9. Peyton gave it an 8. Quincy gave it a 6. Garrett, where is it on your list?
It is a 8.
8. Sean, where is it on your list?
Gonna be an 8 for me as well.
Oof. Josh, where is it on your list?
8.
Oh, man. Man, my homies hate Gen 7. DJ, where is it on yours? 3? I gave it a 2. So
Jeez.
That's right. I know we're fighting on something.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
I although I think it's a bit of a hot take to like Gen 7, just based on from what I see from a lot of people. But anyway,
Mons is so good.
I know.
All the Mons are just amazing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Even like the discount fish and Wishy Washy is so cool.
Although we could have left Bruxish in development. But anyway, let's move on to good old Sword and Shield in Gen 8. I will say right off the bat, so I can get this off my chest, Hop is the worst rival ever. I hate seeing him the whole game. I hate fighting him. I think is literally 18 times. The game holds your hand and he follows you around for the whole thing. The game's just handholdy, like in general. Man, I can't stand it.
I liked it. I don't know. I thought it was cool seeing like the first like big Pokemon game to come out on console, and like people like they bash like the graphics and everything, but it's like DJ said, you know, it's a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
It's also
And like I feel like each game they do take a better step in the direction, and I think like for what they did for it being the big first like, you know, like mainstream like 3D Pokemon game on a console, I think it's not bad.
Yeah.
The models look like totally chill too. Like I'm a big fan of the cell shaded shit, and like Obstagoon, oh my god.
Do you like
Like,
problem with
Obstagoon?
Oh,
models.
favorite Pokemon that came out of that gen, boys. Obstagoon and the throat goat Pokemon. What's his name? Cramorant.
Oh.
Love Cramorant too, boys.
Talking about the models, this is where the biggest controversy comes up. You can't say, "Oh, we're making brand new models."
They're literally
For-
the same.
You literally still steal them from the 3DS.
Yeah, they are the same
Still-
models.
Nothing
Are they the
changed.
same models?
They are
the same
literally identical.
Oh, they look very polished.
That's
though.
why people were so mad about like not only the graphics and the trees looking like they're like 2D or whatever. It's the fact that there were no upgraded textures or models for any of the Pokemon. They were all the same as they were in Gen 6 and 7.
That's
You
fair,
can't be Game Freak and lie to us and say, "Oh, we're making new models." That's why
Yeah.
our overworld's looking somewhat unpolished. No, it's looking unpolished because you're lazy, and we're letting
Yeah.
you get away with this laziness. Because as I said it earlier, and Sean said it, we're hypocritical. It's a
but- Oh
Pokemon
yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's not the best outlook we should have.
Yeah.
It was good. The wild areas. Meanwhile, they didn't look the best. Like I thought it was so fun going through the wild areas. You know, seeing the phalanx, like the Morpeko, like the big spawns, the little spawns you had to go in the grass for. I thought it was really cool. It's also like got a weirdly special place in my heart because I think it's the first Pokedex I ever completed in a Pokemon game.
Mhm.
So like maybe there's that too. But like I really enjoyed it. You know, I thought it was really fun. I think the starter Pokemon were some of the best we've seen. Like in a
Oof,
like
that's
Oh.
a hot take. Oh
Bro.
man.
Are you
That's it.
serious? You guys
You're gonna
don't
look
like
at me and you're gonna tell me Inteleon is
I
is
love
a top tier
Inteleon.
design.
I
Oh
love
my
Inteleon so
God.
much, bro. Are you serious?
I don't mind them. They look pretty decent.
Yeah,
is
dude.
Inteleon better than like
Any
Oh.
other water starter?
I'd say it's
No.
better than
Samurai,
Mudkip.
it's better than Samurai.
Ooh, I'm muting myself. I'm done.
Get him out of here.
Inteleon is better than Samurai.
Inteleon is
Oh,
better
that's
than-
true.
No.
Samurott is about it. Anyway.
Gradient, the Disney character.
Gradient ugly. Oh, Gradient so
man. Some other notes for Gen 8. You can't turn off the experience share. I don't know if anyone cares about that really. I
You're
kind
the
of
only person I know who does care about that.
me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I really.
really don't care.
From like a nuzlocking perspective, I guess it can be a bit annoying, but I mean, like, I think it's fine.
Makes it easy
I
to
guess. Yeah, it does. It's like, I think that it's fine to have your experience share for like everything in your party, but it's like I think people would enjoy like just having the
I
option
just
to
want the
turn it off.
ability. Yep.
Yeah. Dynamax as a mechanic, I felt
Dumb.
was kind of stupid.
Super dumb.
I
Super
think-
dumb.
music is so sick when they do it.
The gym music and stuff is really cool, I will admit. I'll also say Chairman Rose is like the most unrelatable villain ever, and the storyline in this game is I know that like Pokemon aren't known for their stories, but this was a special kind of garbage.
And that like post game with those dudes with the badass, like the bad fucking hair.
Yeah,
Shieldbird,
Swordward and
favorite.
Shieldbird, worst ever. I forgot about them. Oh man,
Oh,
that's
thank you.
Uh,
In my head tonight.
the two things I will say about the game that I thought were really good. I thought the Leon fight or the champion fight was like one of the best and most actually like quite difficult in like any game that I've played really. And then I think the DLCs for the game were really, really solid as well. I feel like they
Oh, they were
kind of
so
carried the
fun.
game towards the end of its lifespan. But I don't know. I feel like Gen 8, like, it just missed the mark. It like had a lot of good ideas, but just like when they put them to practice, it just didn't kind of mesh very well. But that's just me. Still a good game though, and to like have Pokemon games on the Switch is really awesome. Any other thoughts before we wrap things up with Gen 9 here?
I do really like how they like did the gym leader fights, like being in the stadium with the crowd cheering and stuff.
Yeah, that was
and,
pretty
like,
cool.
the little like cut-ins to like the, you know, having them react to what's happening. Kind of. I mean, like, not really react, but the gym leader fights are some of like the redeeming things for me on this.
They had energy.
Yeah, I like it. It was just cool. Like I normally don't play Pokemon games with the sound on after a one playthrough, but I always turn like I crank the music for those gym fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it overall just a really big miss for me.
Josh, how are your
Yeah.
thoughts about Eternatus?
Oh, it's the dumbest thing
Eternatus.
ever.
That's an Ultra Beast.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
I don't
Keep
know.
that same supplement with Deoxys, because it's technically an Ultra Beast too.
I really don't like Deoxys.
Fair enough. Anyway, all right. So Gen 8 rankings. Our mail submissions, unfortunately, we won't get to read the mail submissions. We might do it on the next episode maybe, but we got your rankings in and we appreciate the feedback you guys gave us for sure. Ryan gave Gen 8 a 9. Hooper gave it an 8. Peyton gave it a 9. And Quincy gave it a 7. Garrett, where is Sword and Shield on your list?
He's
We
muted.
lost.
Oh,
We
he's
lost
gone.
those. We'll get him next time.
Embarrassing. I gave it a 7.
7 for Garrett. Sean, where is it for you?
So it's a strong 4 for me.
4 for Sean. You put Gen 3 at 4, by the way.
Oh.
Would you like
What's
to put
one?
this at 3?
I have
You'll-
another one I'm going to be putting at 3.
So this would be 6 then for you. Unless you want to bump
No,
Gen...
Gen 3's a good spot. Yeah, we'll put that at 6. We'll put that at 6. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. I believe 6 is the number I'm missing for
I
you.
just got
Yeah.
nostalgic right
Josh,
now.
where is it for you?
Gen 8 is also at 7 for me.
7, DJ.
7.
7, and I gave it a 6. So I'll do the math on that. And you said you didn't rank Scarlet and Violet, right, DJ?
Yep.
Okay,
NA for me.
so
Recency bias. I don't
I'll
want to deal with it.
I'll keep an 8 for Gen 6 for you then. Okay. But for those of us that did rank Gen 9, we talked a lot about Gen 9 in our recap episode last, so I think we can keep the conversation relatively brief for Gen 9. Things that I think were really awesome. The open world is a cool idea, just a little bit too big. We don't really need to talk about the performance of the game because it's terrible. I thought the post game is really actually good, and one of the first that I actually really wanted to play in a Pokemon game. The Pokemon designs are good. The gym leader designs are good. They have good personalities. Nemona's actually like a relatively likable rival. The Elite Four and Champion are like very underwhelming, and them taking the shiny sparkle away from your shinies and taking away quality of life improvements kind of blows.
But we got Arven.
Yeah, but we did get Arven, who is... I'll be honest, when we first met Arven right away, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be an asshole, and I'm not gonna like him.
Yeah, I thought he was the bad guy. I thought he was the bad guy too, bro. I thought he was gonna be working for someone evil or something, and we'd have to rescue Miraidon from him or something.
Yeah.
But he redeemed himself, bro. He's the best character in the entire game.
Yeah, I think the Titan storyline was my favorite of the three. Anyone else have any hot takes, things that they want to touch on?
Only thing for me is that I think while it does have its flaws, they made competitive very accessible, incredibly accessible. I think the multiplayer is so fun. I think the way they're doing the raids right now is really cool. And I think even just the way sandwich making, yeah, it's like you're just making sandwiches, but I feel like the way you could do it with a bunch of people, so you can have a bunch of people shiny hunting at the same time together, I think is a very fun, enjoyable experience as well. So I think from a multiplayer standpoint, I think they got a lot about this game right.
For sure.
I gotta say, I think the rating system is worse in this game than it was in Galar.
Terra raids are just
I think
so unoptimized.
It's a buggy, messy system that sometimes will make you not able to even play the game for half the raid because it's stuck in the motions or you get glitched out of it. They're just not good. And
maybe we'll get a patch.
I really, I don't know. Pokemon did say that they're taking feedback into consideration, but they've said that before. But I will say, if they would just give an update, a major update for the performance of the game, it shoots up on the list, I think, for everybody. I just hate playing in the lake is unplayable on my game. The game chugs so bad. It's in slow motion and it hurts my eyes. It's so sad. Terra raids are a good idea to not have everyone have to play in order, but it's they're just so confusing. And playing with randoms is really difficult. But anyway. Otherwise, though, great game. Honestly, from a gameplay perspective. One of the best, for sure. At least for me, anyway.
Yep.
Any other thoughts?
I feel like that sums it up.
Okay, cool. If you want to hear more about our Scarlet and Violet thoughts, go and watch our last episode. But anyway, ranking-wise, Ryan gave Gen 9 a 4, Hooper gave it a 6, Peyton gave it a 6, and Quincy gave it a 2. Garrett, where is it on your list? Actually, I can just do the math here.
Yeah.
So Garrett's would be a 4, correct?
Oui.
And Sean's would be a 3, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure, 3.
It looks like a 2 for Josh.
Yep.
And I gave it a 4. So I will give this kind of
so excited to see this.
To account for DJ's lack of a vote here, I could give it.
I can try to put it in. I'd probably honestly put it behind Kanto.
So you put it at 6.
I'd put it at 6.
6.
Yeah.
That moves Gen 5 to 7 for you. Moves Gen 8 to 8 and Gen 6 to 9. We'll go based off that. Why not? Okay, so just give me a second.
I want the reveal from 9 up.
To do the math. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about in the meantime.
Slow reveal 9 up. Great call.
We're gonna do Zelda podcast next week?
Yes,
Zelda? We got to
please.
do Zelda.
I want to do like a boss ranking or something. I want to talk about Zelda
I would
so
love
bad.
to do bosses. Let's do bosses.
All right, so this is number 1. That's number 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. Oh wait, no, I did my math wrong. Okay, so this is 1. That's 2. This is 3.
Aren't you just in a Google sheet?
This is 4. Yeah. Just
Equals average.
no, I did the average already. I'm trying to put them in order now.
Oh, okay.
5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me just
You
double.
can just sort
Yep,
function.
I know. I just want to make sure that I
Yeah.
didn't make any mistakes here. 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, and wait, do I not have a 9? Wait, oh, hold on. What? Talk about something. Garrett, talk about talk about Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl.
When is it coming out? I've been waiting.
Fun fact. Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to doing that video, boys, but it's on the way. I'm also excited to play Blood Bowl 3, which is coming out, but I do want to do this Blood Bowl 2 league because it has just like so much stuff included with it. But I'm excited to hear about the upcoming Zelda podcast you guys are doing too, though. I won't be probably in that one because, fun fact, I haven't played a single Zelda game.
Real?
Unless you
Not
count
a
Smash
single
Bros.
one. Oh yeah, we had this talk before because we were trying to get
haven't-
you to play OOT or like Majora's Mask.
Garrett, you need to play at least one.
I don't know. I feel like at this point, I just can't.
Garrett, I have every Zelda game. Come over. I will you can have some what's it called? We can have a parallel play session. I'll supervise you. You can get through if you get stuck on a puzzle. No fear, because I will be there.
Oh my gosh.
But you're gonna play
Garrett.
one of them.
Garrett, you have 5 months to play and beat Breath of the Wild.
Starting now.
What's the newest?
Hot take, dude.
What's
Breath
the
of the
next
Wild.
one coming up? What's the
Breath
next
of the
one
Wild
coming up?
too.
Tears of the Kingdom. I'm literally going to shit myself. Anyway, we have full rankings done. So I will reveal these in reverse order. This is based off subjective opinions from 9 members of the Discord that have the most experience. Well, not the most experience, but the experience that we're taking into consideration. So,
Can we guess?
yeah, if you guys want to guess what the worst game in the series is compared to our votes, you can.
To our votes, it's definitely Galar. It's
Maybe
Gen
X and Y.
Yeah,
A
Gen with an average of a 7.3. Gen 8 is in 9th place.
Wow.
Galar.
Wow.
It was gonna be Galar. It was gonna be Sword. and
In
Shield.
8th place, we
Oh,
have with an average of
6.
6.6.
Probably black and white.
Kalos. I think it's Kalos. I think it's Gen 6.
It's very close, but Gen 7 is actually 8th.
Oh,
That was my second guess.
Yeah.
So Kalos. would be
That was a
next, yeah.
6.6 average. With a 6.5 average in 7th place is Gen 6 Kalos. In
This is
6th
what- I see.
In 6th place, with a 4.77 average, is Gen 2.
Damn.
Oh,
In 5th place, with a 4.66 average, is Gen 1. 4th place, with a 4.1 average, is Gen 9. 3rd place, with a 3.8 average, is Gen 5.
let's go, baby.
wow.
Let's go.
It's the young pups. It's
Yeah. 2nd place, with a 3.7 average, is Gen 3. And
Travesty.
the best Pokemon generation per votes of the 9 of us with a 3.1 average is Generation 4, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So
Huh.
just platinum. Just platinum.
just
We should
Platinum.
take
Platinum.
mail submissions anymore.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for
Wow.
listening. This was an hour and a half long without going into the mail or doing trivia. So we hope that you enjoyed this and stayed around for the majority of it. We'll be back relatively soon with something that's not Pokemon related for once. And we hope you enjoyed yourself. Go play some Platinum. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Peace, boys.
Renegade Platinum.